Welcome back, everybody, to Pick Some Politics. And everybody seems to be talking about those mysterious drones, right? Spotted in the skies above New York and New Jersey. Thousands of sightings, but zero explanation. Now the pressure is on government leaders to give concerned citizens some idea of what exactly is happening in the skies. Local officials putting the pressure on the feds to chime in with the reason behind the drones. And so far, they've come up with nothing. Empty-handed. So I want to bring in two of our New Jersey correspondents, Corrado and Jim Vasil, who have been covering this story for weeks now. They have witnessed them themselves. Great to have you both here on Pick Some Politics. And I had to say, in full disclosure, I had not seen them until just the other night, and it was a very, very busy night in the sky, and it was bizarre to see because you don't know exactly what it is. Some of them resemble planes, but they're flying in weird patterns. So let me just recap, Katie, with you, because you kind of spotted this first and foremost kind of a couple of weeks ago. You've been speaking to residents about it. Take us back to the very, very beginning and how it kind of evolved over the last couple of weeks.
So it started out with just some sightings over Morris County, I would say about 3 weeks ago. And you go up to the average person on the street and they wouldn't know what you were talking about. Drones, only a few people knew about it. At this point, you can go up to anybody on the street because now the sightings have spread to practically every part of New Jersey. And I think the sentiment is, I have no idea what this is, but I am so sick and tired of not knowing.
Right, and why? And that's the answer, right? When we spoke to the Middletown mayor, who said, "I wish I could give more information." He was involved in a briefing. You've spoken, Jim, to a number of local leaders as well. I want to play some of your interviews, and then we'll talk about it on the back end.
They talked about just the other night, they got 180 sightings of drones. We are literally being invaded by drones, and we have no idea who's doing it and where they're coming from.
We don't know anything, and we're not sure if we ever will know anything, but we've reached out to Homeland Security, and they may give us some stuff. I mean, come on, man.
Yeah, and that's pretty much what the Middletown mayor said, too, right, about being involved with this meeting where the FBI, who was leading the investigation, was notably absent from that meeting. But what else came out of that meeting, Jim, that could give people some kind of peace of mind?
Well, really, Dan, not much. I spoke with about probably between 2 and 3 dozen lawmakers and mayors who stepped out of that meeting. One of them told me this meeting could have been an email. Another one told me that they felt like this was the biggest waste of their time. I believe that was Assemblyman Brian Bergen who said that. So they're really frustrated. But I think there was one positive thing, if you could find one positive thing. One of the lawmakers told me that they learned about New Jersey possibly getting help from the federal government, getting more sophisticated radar technology. So I think they came away from the meeting, some of them at least, knowing that maybe we can get some answers.
That sounds great. I don't care about the radar. I want to know what exactly it is and how to get it out of the sky. So here's the question, right? Governor Murphy has sent a letter to the President of the United States asking for what? More federal resources?
Right, and because New Jersey residents deserve more concrete answers.
Right, so that's one thing. So there's a lot of questions that are out there that you hear from I'm sure you've heard many of them from residents, right? Why can't we follow them to where they land? Why can't we shoot it out of the sky? So what else are you hearing?
So the why can't you shoot it out of the sky is because I believe the government, state police are kind of handcuffed in all of this. The most that state police can do is scramble the signal. So if there was a drone that was flying over a Jets or a Giants game at MetLife, state police would have the ability to sort of scramble the signal going to that drone so that it would come back down to earth. State police are saying that they don't have the ability, they can't find a signal for these drones. So state police are kind of handcuffed, and also they don't have the authority to take down a drone.
Yeah, and I spoke with a local police chief in New Jersey who told me that unless they're over restricted airspace or they're over a big crowd of people without prior authorization, they're allowed to be there. They're allowed to do it. You can fly, you can own a drone and send it up as long as you're doing it the right way.
Yeah, which is what the Department of Defense and Department of Homeland Security came out and said, that they have no reason to believe that there was anything ill about some of these things that were flying. They were all doing so legally.
Right, and the Pentagon addressed this week. And the Pentagon in a press briefing said they don't believe that these are from, a foreign country or an adversary. So maybe a little bit of peace of mind from that. But again, the mystery is, what are they doing and why are they doing?
And here's what's fascinating. The Middletown mayor said that they have a battery life of 67 hours and that they're fast, right? So that some of the police drones they fly can't keep up with them as they try to find them. So you spoke to a drone pilot.
Yeah, I spoke to a drone pilot who said, these are not commercial drones. He's like, some of these drones are the size of small cars. I wouldn't even know how to transport this drone to my home, even if I wanted to buy it. And he said some of the lights are not really consistent with drones because he said typically they have red and green lights. Some of the ones he's seen have had all green lights. So he's just thoroughly confused by what some of them are, but that they're just too big and the battery's lasting too long. He said, especially in the cold, you might get 45 minutes with one of my drones, and these are, hours.
Is there another meeting or something that's coming up next?
Well, the governor's sending a letter to the president would sure maybe put some fire under the White House to at least address the nation in some form. At that Pentagon press briefing I told you about, that was probably about 10 minutes in that the drone question was broached. So let's get out front of this if you're the federal government.
To be continued for sure. Katie and Jim, I know you'll stay on top of it. Keep us posted every step of the way, okay? And follow both of them because they're on this story. The mystery will continue, everybody, and we will be right back.